Hello everyone and welcome back to Kitty Plays Dream Daddy. Today we're going to deal with Brian. I think we're going to do the fishing thing. Yeah, that'll be fun. Really stepped up the production value in episode 5. You can save bookmarks directly to your desktop, but why would you want to? I never see my desktop because I always have the internet open. Always try your best at everything. Good advice, good advice. Oh, I have a message from Brian.
Hey, Daisy and I are going out fishing tomorrow. Are you in or out?
Oh no, I've been dreading this day. I accidentally boasted about my abilities to fisherman to Brian, and now he's challenging me to another dad-off. Been doing my fishing research online, but I'm nowhere close to being an expert. Still, though, I have to accept. Type back to Brian. Sounds great, man. Super excited to catch all those fish, and my lawn could use another good mowing. That'll show him. Brian responds back, letting me know that tomorrow he'll pick us up at an hour I had previously forgotten existed. Man, that's gonna be a rough start. Amanda comes into the room from the kitchen, eating a cheese stick by biting it off piece by piece like some kind of monster. Didn't raise you like that. What? It's called string cheese and not chompy cheese for a reason, Amanda. Did you just call me in here to criticize my controversial string cheese eating technique or what? No. Amanda, we have to go fishing tomorrow. Well, you have to go fishing. I get to play with Brian's dog. How do I become a master of fishing overnight? You went fishing in the Girl Scouts, didn't you? No, my stint in the Scouts is brief and purely transactional. Thought I could get free cookies, but I didn't know I had to, be outside and tie knots and stuff. But I have to beat Brian. Dad, let me tell you a story. Do you remember last summer how I applied for a job at that coffee shop across town? Give me a refresher. During the interview, they asked me if I knew how to work an espresso machine, and I really wanted the job, so I lied and said yes. On that first morning, there's a line out the door, and within half an hour, I severely burned my hand, and they told me to go home and never come back. I still have a scar from that. Of course I remember. What does that have to do with fishing? The burn is a metaphor, Dad. I don't get it. You can lead a horse to water. What do horses have to do with fish? Dad, please. I don't get your obsession with competing against Brian. You wouldn't understand. It's a dad thing. Really isn't. I have that weird must-compete vibe against a couple of people. It's really just my own anxiety coming out and seeing that someone is better than me at something I pride myself on, and since I feel like I have no reasonable qualities besides the few things I do pride myself on, I feel like I must be the best at them. Yeah, it sucks. Please try explaining it to me. Okay. Brian's he just thinks that he's so much better than me, and he purposely reminds me of that whenever he can. It's like he has to one-up me. I have to beat him at his own game. Is that what you think is happening here? No, Amanda. Okay, I know that's what's happening here. Alright, Pops. We should both be getting some sleep. See you in the morning. Night, Panda. Brush my teeth and throw on some pajamas. I climb into bed, set my alarm, and close my eyes. Okay, sleep. I am wide awake. I can't help but think about the last time I went fishing, hoping that there's something I can glean from it to give me an edge over Brian. It's about 9 years old. My dad woke me up one morning and told me to get dressed to meet him downstairs. Still dark out. I had no idea what was going on, but before I knew it, we were both alone on a freezing cold lake. I had to sit there for hours while it got hot and muggy, the air thick with bugs. I picked up mosquito bites while my dad sat in stony silence, fishing pole in one hand and a beer in the other. We didn't catch anything. On the long drive home, my father bought me a pack of cigarettes and didn't say a thing. That didn't help, and I think I have some sadness about my father. I'll deal with that later. I'm sitting on a boat in the middle of a body of water. I can't see any land, but I know it's a lake. The water is placid and still. I'm holding a fishing pole. I don't understand why, but it feels like my life depends on catching fish right now. I cast my lure into the water and wait. And wait. And wait. My whole being is filled with hopelessness as I watch the line disappear into the depths below.
You used the wrong lure.
Look up and see my father, just as he looked that one cold morning. Disapproving. I used the wrong voice then. I'm panicking now. I pull the lure up and try to grab a different one, but all the lures in the tackle box are exactly the same. I look up to my father for guidance, but he's gone. Try casting again, but I can't hold my footing. My boat tips over and I fall into the water. Sinking further and further, I see the multitudes of fish that had been lying just below the surface, all swimming around me as if to taunt me. One fish swims up to me. He has Brian's eyes.
You gotta use a neutral buoyancy lure if you're trying to catch trout, buddy.
I jolt awake to the sound of my alarm. It's fishing day. That would explain the weird dream. I groggily slip on clothes and get ready. I spot Amanda's door half open and see her still curled up in a mountain of blankets. Walking over to her bed, I give her a tiny kiss on the forehead. Fishing day, kiddo. You ready? No. Well, you gotta get up. Can't do this without you. Also, stop sleeping in your clothes. Amanda pulls a comforter over her head. Never. Amanda. I'll get up in a minute. Alright, Brian should be here in 20, so you better not just go back to sleep. Amanda sticks her hand through the blanket to wave me away. I leave her room and make myself some coffee and another cup with lots of cream and sugar for Amanda, whenever she gets up. Amanda eventually wanders in and chugs a coffee while I do word jumbles. I hear the doorbell ring. That must be Brian. Still rubbing her eyes, we walk outside to see Brian. He's decked out in fishy gear. Daisy's falling asleep next to him.
Early bird gets the worm, buddy.
You ready to fish?
I was born ready.
My eyes narrow in on Brian. It's a good day to die. Hop on in, guys. Let's get this fishing party started. Walk over to the driver's side door and open it. Woof, woof. Brian's dog immediately hops into the driver's seat, wagging his tail furiously. I love that dog. So cute. Can I see your license, sir?
Maxwell, let Nick sit.
Maxwell obediently hops into the back to cuddle with Daisy. Amanda settles in next to Maxwell and Daisy and immediately falls asleep.
You ready for an adventure?
I'm ready for glory. Struggle to stay awake as we drive to the outskirts of town. Country music plays quietly from the radio as I watch trees pass by. So where exactly are we headed?
It's about an hour north of here. Little spot I've been going to since I was a kid. My dad used to take me there all the time. I don't think anybody else knows about it. I brought everything we need so that we can catch some trout, have a nice little fire, and enjoy the nature.
My fishing pole is in the shop getting it tuned up. Do you maybe have an extra I could borrow?
But of course, it's probably not as nice as it sounds like yours is, though.
Right. I am digging a hole here. I stare out at the forest lining the highway. The sun is just barely over the horizon, scattering dusty pink light through the trees. For a split second, I spot a deer grazing on the side of the road before it leaps back into the brush. After a nice quiet drive, Brian eventually tells me to pull off the highway and onto a dirt road. The car bumps along until we reach a clearing that opens up to a magnificent lake.
Well, here we are.
I step out of the car and help Brian unload our gear as Maxwell runs around us, barking. The kids wake up and wander to the shore, where Daisy tries to teach Amanda how to skip rocks. Brian and I carry the tackle boxes and cooler down to the edge of the lake, where he has a canoe waiting.
Great, still in one piece. Hold on, help me out with Maxwell.
I help Brian place a tiny dog-sized life vest onto Maxwell, and that sounds like the most adorable thing.
Woof, woof. All right, your turn.
Brian hands me a lime green life vest. No thanks. I'll be alright. I have no plans of being in that water. Also, I'm strong and capable.
Suit yourself.
Brian turns to Amanda and Daisy, who are still skipping rocks.
You kids want to fish?
I'm good at just throwing rocks into the water. Amanda hurls a rock into the pond with gusto. Yeah, take that, water. Amanda, you're supposed to be skipping them. Is that what we're doing?
Daisy, don't you want to fish?
Oh. I think catching fish is kind of inhumane. We're gonna go explore in the woods and look at bugs and stuff. I have no idea why I made Daisy Southern. It just seems to fit really well.
All right, be safe. Don't go too far.
Brian puts the life vest around himself while we throw all our equipment into the canoe. Maxwell happily jumps in and takes his place looking out over the front of the boat. I get into the canoe as Brian shoves off. We paddle together to get ourselves in the middle of the lake.
Most freshwater fish usually feed at dusk and dawn, which is why I had to get you up so early.
Yeah, I know. That's pretty common fisherman knowledge after all. Fisherman knowledge that I am knowledgeable about.
Still a gambling man?
You know it.
Let's see who can catch more fish.
You can catch more than one? Sounds easy enough to me. What's on the line? Besides all the fish I'm gonna catch, obviously.
I was thinking something a little more high stakes than mowing the lawn.
Custody of our children?
More than that, let's say if I win, I get your weed whacker.
The Whackmaster 2000, that's a limited edition.
But if you win, you get my pole saw, the Reach and Cut 3000.
The cordless version?
That's the one.
Shit. The Reach and Cut 3000 is state of the art. My weed whacker's a prized possession, but there are those hard to reach branches at the back of the yard that have been begging for a pruning. You're on. We shake on it. Suddenly remember that I don't know how to fish. My foolish fatherly pride will one day be my undoing. I watch as Brian ties the lure and does some stuff I can't quite follow with his fishing pole. He casts into the lake. Oh boy, now I have to do that. I stare down at the tackle box and let the pole in my hand. Put some bait on the hook. I fish a worm from the styrofoam container Brian brought. It's slippery, but I think I can get it onto the hook if I just focus. Oh, good God, I'm bleeding. Oh God, the blood's everywhere. The worm is not on the hook.
Need some help?
No, I meant to do that. The blood attracts the fish. They can smell it up to a mile away, you know.
Okay. I think that's sharks.
No, it's definitely fish. Sharks are fish, actually. Now what? Tie a knot or something. Ah, shit, I'm doing it too much right. Take my pull and try to tie an elaborate looking knot to impress my Brian. The classic hunter's bend. I learned that one in my youth. Yep, this one isn't coming apart anytime soon. With this knot, I will cast my heavenly line on the unsuspecting water and deliver unto us a bountiful harvest. Look over to Brian. He doesn't seem to be paying attention. Let's cast this sucker. Pull my rod back and launch the lure as hard as I can. And the lure flies off the line and sails far, far away, landing in the lake with a loud sploosh. Sorry, I judged the wind speed wrong. This cold air drives the pressure down.
Go ahead and take my pole. I know it's hard switching to a new pole you're not used to. I'll fix up another lure.
Brian hands me his pole with a smile and I just sit there, feeling like an idiot.
Fishing around here is easy. They group up. All you gotta do is line up 3 of the same species and reel them in.
Really? You match 3 of the same species? I can't tell which fish is which.
Match that fish.
I'm actually pretty good at matching games.
Nice match. Match of the day. Catch of the day. Nice match. Catch of the day. Catch of the day.
It's not gonna work. Okay, I can do that. That should ricochet down a bunch. And oh god, I'm running out of time.
Catch of the day.
Okay, I can get them.
Now you're fishing.
Okay, that didn't work. Go away, Brian! I mean, he's probably saying something very plot relevant or something, but I can't focus because I'm trying to fish. Fish! Shit. Shit. I don't see any more matches. Shit. Really wanted to outdo him on this one, you know? Okay. I can do this. I can do this if I focus. Just need to focus on the... I'm sure there's a very obvious one that I'm just like... yeah, there's an obvious one somewhere I'm just not seeing, and everyone in the comments is probably just like screaming at me. Should be an easy game, shouldn't it? Why am I not seeing any? Ah! Oh wow. I mean, I was doing so good at first. No. What?
Good work.
What? Wow, this is way tougher than I thought. I look over to Brian, who's smiling and obviously enjoying his time out here on the lake. I will crush him. Suddenly, the fishing pole jumps in my hand. I reflexively tug upwards. Think I got something big? Tip of the pole dips down repeatedly and the line starts to run.
Reel it in.
Finally get the fish right up next to the boat. It's a long, beautiful rainbow trout. Brian hands me a net.
It's all yours.
Lean down and notice that my hands are shaking with excitement. This fish is bigger than all the ones Brian's caught. That pole saw is mine. The entire canoe tips over with me. I find myself sinking into the lake. Should have taken the life vest. All of a sudden, I'm embraced into the water and pulled into Brian's arms. Finally dragged upwards, sputtering water. All of our gear floats on the surface. Maxwell doggy paddles around us in circles, having a great time.
You alright?
Does that count as one?
Well, seeing as all of our fish are now swimming safely back in the lake, I guess so.
Brian laughs.
Let's get you to shore.
Brian and I flip the canoe back over and fill it with our now soaking wet gear. We row back to shore with Maxwell in tow. Once we get to the beach, Maxwell darts off into the woods. Brian takes off his shirt. Dots of lake water glisten in the sun across his strong back. Man, all that general contracting must have built that guy like an ox. Hope he doesn't notice you staring.
I'm gonna get a fire going so we can dry off. Want a ham of yours?
Yes, okay. Reluctantly take off my own shirt and toss it to Brian. Suddenly wish I had done more sit-ups in my life. What the fuck? Alexa just started talking. I suddenly wish I had done more sit-ups in my life, or any sit-ups at all, really. Another thing you've bested me in, stupid sexy Brian. You might as well fry that shirt up. Seems like it's the only lunch we'll have.
The day's young. We can fish from the shore.
Once Brian gets the fire going, I sit and try to dry off my pants. Brian sets a couple lures out by the water's edge.
We're probably gonna have to put the kibosh on the competition for now.
Until another day. My stomach growls.
You hungry?
Oh, I'm fine. Brian reaches into his cargo shorts and pulls out a few granola bars.
I have a small child. I am flush with snacks.
Brian joins me by the fire and I accept the cargo short granola.
And now we're back to waiting.
Where did the girls get off to? Shouldn't they be back by now?
I wouldn't worry about it too much. They're a couple of smart kids.
That's what I'm worried about. They're too smart. They've probably established a small rural government by this point and installed themselves as leaders. Take a look around. The sun cresting the tree line casts the entire lake in a warm golden glow. The forest seems to be coming alive now. Birds chirp in the distance. Wow, nature is beautiful. Mosquito bites me. I slap my neck and curse. Nature sucks.
Here you go, bud.
Brian hands me a bottle of bug spray. I begrudgingly take it and douse myself. Ugh, I've always hated how this stuff smells.
Really? I've always kind of liked it. Reminds me of being outside.
Maybe you and I have different sentiments on the outdoors. Maxwell comes bounding up to me, a huge stick in his mouth. He drops it at my feet and looks at me expectantly. Okay, oh my god, break the stick and have to assert your dominance. Ugh. I know I want to do this badly, but oh my god, I can't be mean to the dog. But it is obviously the worst choice.
Whoa.
Snap the branch in half. The pieces crumble to the ground at Maxwell's feet.
Yikes.
I immediately feel bad about it. It's dead your shit! Oh my god, I can't believe I did that to a dog. Even though it's just a fictional dog. Maxwell just cocks his head at me and begins eating the tiny pieces of stick. Okay.
I'm sure he'll be fine.
It's time for the pets. What's the plan? Rub that belly. Maxwell rolls over and lets me rub his belly. He wiggles on the grass, clearly loving it.
Feel like a bit of a third wheel here. Where are my belly rubs?
So flustered I can barely say anything. I just focus on petting Maxwell and hope Brian doesn't notice how much I'm sweating. While I'm playing with Maxwell, fish begin routinely pulling on Brian's lines. I watch Brian effortlessly fillet the fish, squeezing a bit of lemon on them and frying them up in a cast iron pan. Before we know it, we have a feast fit for a couple of shirtless dudes. Amanda and Daisy emerge from the woods, looking totally unscathed. Whoa, Dad Bod Patrol, I'm gonna have to issue you both a citation and demand you both put your shirts on. There are children present. Brian tosses me my now dry shirt. I pull it over my head, thankful that I will no longer be distracted by Brian and his pecs. Where have you guys been? Studying entomology. What? We are playing with bugs. I expected you guys to be more covered in, like, mud and stuff. Daisy looks offended. What do you take me for, Chad? Amanda puts a hand on Daisy's shoulder.
Dad.
Right. We take a seat around the fire and Brian serves us all generous piles of fish on paper plates. It's absolutely delicious. Why does he have to be good at everything?
Fish taste okay?
Daisy and Amanda both nod furiously, mouths full of fish. It's incredible. I've never had fish this good. Yeah, it's great.
Old hearty family recipe.
Why are your pants wet? Well, Amanda, we were out there on the lake and then...
Then I accidentally tipped over that boat. Don't worry, all the gear floated to the surface, so we didn't lose anything. Right, Nick?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Can't believe he just covered for me. Gosh, even out humbles me. He's trying to beat me at everything, including my world-famous sense of humility. We finish our fish and end up playing catch with Maxwell for a little while before we decide to head out. After cleaning up the camp, we pack up the station wagon and let Maxwell in the back seat. The poor pup falls asleep in a cuddle puddle with Amanda and Daisy. They've had a long day.
Been an ordeal today, bud. Let me drive you guys home.
I want to prove that I'm the most awake dad on the block, but yeah, I'm beat. Fine. As we drive away, I take one last look at the lake disappearing behind us and smile. I rest my head against the window when the low rumble of the dirt road beneath us lulls me into a peaceful sleep. I like this music.
Hey, sleepyhead.
I open my eyes and realize that I had dozed off in the car. I self-consciously wipe a bit of drool off my chin. Oh, hey, I was resting my eyes. Just in case we suddenly have to jump into any sort of conflict, so I'm super awake for it. I'm ready to fight. With my strong arms.
It's all good. You earned some rest, buddy. Thanks for coming out with us today. I had a lot of fun with you.
Thanks for inviting us. I also had fun, actually.
Glad to hear it. Take it easy, yeah?
So the reason I'm yawning so much is because of Brian's voice, because I'm basically, to do it, I'm putting my throat in the same position where it would be right before I yawn. You two, take it the easiest. Ryan chuckles to himself as he unloads the car. Amanda and I get inside and immediately collapse onto the couch. Long day. Yep. I was so close to that pole saw. Pole saw? Yeah, Brian and I were competing to see who could catch the most fish, and... Stop. Why do you care so much? Amanda Panda, just look at the guy. He's so obviously got my number and he's rubbing my face in it. Dad, I love you. But you're kinda dumb sometimes. Dumb? Or clearly the superior dad? You know what? I don't have any of the energy required to properly unpack your weird fixation with asserting your masculinity. I'm going to bed. Night. Amanda slides off the couch and face down onto the floor. I am a tired slug. Amanda, that floor is disgusting. I don't care. Well, night, honey. Night, Pops.
That was a great date.
Well, better than I wanted it to be. If you're parking uphill, be sure to turn your tires toward the street. Good advice. When lifting weights, use proper form at a full range of motion. Good advice, but I don't know what proper form is. Please don't pirate games. I didn't.